It's only rock and roll, but they like it.
We've been out in the field for about 10 days, and it's excellent to come back and have these guys here.
More criticism in Hollywood over U.S. policy in Central America.
I believe that all that's necessary for evil to triumph in the world is for good people to do nothing.
Is the hand still quicker than the eye?
I learn a few things, I know a few secrets, and then they show me their stuff, and I'm just blown away.
If you pull a few strings, you can get Pavarotti.
As Entertainment Tonight checks the video revolution from Monday, March 19th, 1984.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mary Hart.
And I'm Alan Arthur, sitting in for Ron Henry, who's on vacation this week.
Welcome, Alan. For the first time ever, major rock and rollers have gone on the USO circuit to entertain the troops. First stop, Hawaii. For Army and Marine recruits stationed at Pohakaloa Training Base on Hawaii, life is no picnic. It's located in the mountains 9,000 feet up from the nearest beach. So when the USO arrived, the soldiers got an unexpected treat. Rock and roll is now part of the USO's program as a group of 11 major rock artists have hit the road to entertain the troops. Billed as the first airborne rock and roll division, the group consists of former Doobie Brother Patrick Simmons, plus current members of Kansas, Cheap Trick, Pablo Cruz, and LaRue. The whole project was the brainchild of drummer Phil Ehart of Kansas.
My father was in the service, and my brother is a colonel in the Army, and so I come from a military family, and I know that, you know, how cut off you can get out here.
I really appreciate it because down here ain't nothing else to do. We've been out in the field for about 10 days, and it's excellent to come back and have these guys here.
This kind of music is certainly not what you'd expect to find in a USO show. The pain of Vietnam kept rock musicians, as well as other entertainers, away from any involvement with the military. But times have finally changed. This is the first USO rock concert, but it won't be the last.
The time is right from both sides. I think the military's at a point now we can accept rock and roll much better than we could 10 years ago.
For all us musicians that bailed out of the service when we were playing music, I mean, we didn't go into the service for various reasons. I'm sure everybody had their ideas about it. And this is a good chance. Yeah, this is a good chance to check it out.
After entertaining in Hawaii, the 1st Airborne Rock and Roll Division plays Okinawa, the Philippines, and the Diego Garcia Island in the Indian Ocean.
While entertainment was mixing with government in the Hawaiian Islands, back on the mainland, entertainers were striking out at government policy. Catherine Mann reports.
In Hollywood, Bonnie Raitt was singing, and other stars were giving dramatic readings at an emotional town meeting dealing with their feelings about U.S. policy in Central America.
I went to El Salvador, and I saw the horror that's happening there. I saw for myself, I met people with scars from here to here.
The people in Central America said to us, be our voice, speak for us, be our brothers and our sisters and our friends, and teach us your democracy. But in God's name, ask your president to not send any more weapons to kill our children. What do you hope comes out of this today?
Information, realization that the people who are opposed and for a cessation of what is going on down there are not alone.
I believe that all that's necessary for evil to triumph in the world is for good people to do nothing. And I'm not going to be one of the people doing nothing.
Rule number 1 of magic, the hand is quicker than the eye, was proved once again over the weekend. Dick Shoemaker reports from Las Vegas.
Siegfried and Roy, masters of the grand illusion. But not many magicians have the time or money to make a fully grown elephant disappear into thin air. And that's why magicians from around the world gathered here in Las Vegas to see and learn more about the art of close-up magic. Close-up magic is blowing on one match while the other goes out, or taking the 6 of hearts, putting it back into the pack, and then after the deck is dumped, the card in question appears on the back of an unsuspecting suspect. But can professionals really learn from the sleight of hand of others?
I learn a few things, I know a few secrets, and then they show me their stuff, I'm just blown away.
It isn't easy to stick a nickel on your forehead, especially after you see what it apparently takes to keep it there.
The only way you can learn is from people who know more in the field than you do.
Even professionals enjoy watching that elusive ring disappear, only to have it reappear on the magician's finger. But is there a danger in showing too much?
When there's mystery there, it's always much more intriguing. Once you know the secret, you find that it's a little bit disappointing.
So this magic seminar was a learning experience, a case of now you see it, now you don't. Dick Shoemaker, Entertainment Tonight.
Now some stories from our ET Newswire. NBC Board Chairman Grant Tinker today announced a reorganization of the network's management structure to replace NBC President Robert Mulholland, who resigned on Friday. Mulholland's responsibilities will be split among 3 executive vice presidents. Publisher Rupert Murdoch has conceded defeat in his bid to take over Warner Communications. Murdoch is selling the 5.5 million shares he holds back to Warner. There's a bright side for Murdoch. He'll make between $40 and $44 million on the transaction. And members of 2 entertainment labor groups, the Screen Actors Guild and the Screen Extras Guild, have turned down a merger proposal in a special election. The announcement was made today by SAG President Ed Asner.
The message from our membership is that they are still deeply divided on this issue, and that for them this merger is an idea whose time has not yet come. They have told us that to resolve the extra issue, we will have to look to other solutions.
Asner said he did not think the Screen Actors Guild would pursue the merger idea any further and instead would concentrate on other labor matters.
Luciano Pavarotti was in rare form this weekend in New York, but promoters had to pull some strings to make the evening a success.
Luciano Pavarotti was honored over the weekend for his work benefiting New York's Cabrini Medical Center. The highlight of the evening was a show by the Fantasy Factory, a puppet troupe featuring king-size puppets in the shape of such stars as John Wayne, Liberace and his piano, Liza Minnelli, her mom Judy Garland, Bette Midler, and the guest of honor himself, Pavarotti, singing Donna Immobile.
You'll see more of that at the end of the show. At the top of the charts today, a look at the country's best-selling books is reported by Publishers Weekly. Stephen King's latest thriller, Pet Sematary, is the #1 hardcover fiction bestseller. Irma Bombeck's Motherhood, the second oldest profession, heads the nonfiction list. And Barbara Taylor Bradford's latest romance, Voice of the Heart, moves on to the top of the mass-market paperback list.
Next, music videos. Are they going to outsell records?
And ahead, Jerry Lewis. He may be unappreciated in the U.S., but he's the king of comedy in France.
Raymond, honey, Claire, Betsy. Where's Betsy? Has anyone seen Betsy?
Mister,
Yes?
got a brush.
AIM has that special taste kids like.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen a little...
So AIM does more than fight cavities with fluoride. AIM's taste helps start a good habit that lasts.
Young lady.
Looking for me?
Come on.
Start your kids with AIM. For fewer cavities now and good habits that last a lifetime.
Eric Sainton, transit supervisor. Condition, tension headache.
I have a tremendous pain in my head. I'm asking you for an aspirin.
Today we'd like you to try extra-strength Tylenol. It works without aspirin.
Would have to take the headache away.
Regular aspirin only gives you this much medicine, but extra-strength Tylenol goes to the limit. It's the most medicine you can buy without a prescription.
The headache is gone. Extra strength Tylenol. That's an amazing product.
Extra-strength Tylenol. You can't buy a more potent pain reliever without a prescription.
You can do it. I'll miss you.
I'll take my own direction. I know the way to go. I want your sweet affection, but I'll make it on my own. And I've got candies, candies. I got candies, candies. I got candies.
sunset. Lipton Citrus Sunset. And know what great taste tastes like in herbal tea. Luscious oranges, delicate hibiscus, cinnamon, rose hips, rare Davana. Blended together in Lipton Citrus Sunset for a taste like no other herbal tea. Come, drink in the sunset. Satisfy your taste with Lipton Citrus Sunset. Just one of the tantalizing herbal teas from Lipton.
Music videos have been hot items on TV for some time. Now they're a hot item in record stores, too. Gene Wolfe reports.
A rock star signing usually means records. This time, Todd Rundgren is signing videos, too. The home music video market is growing, based on the fact that fans have grown accustomed to seeing as well as hearing their favorite artists. Rundgren is one of many artists actively promoting videos for home viewing. The irony is that while most rock videos were originally created to promote records, they now have a market of their own.
Hopefully, people are getting more than just a series of commercials. People are getting something which is entertaining, conceivably enlightening in its own respect.
You'd think people wouldn't want to buy what they can see on TV for nothing. Music lovers are proving that theory wrong. Michael Jackson's Thriller video has been the biggest seller so far. It sold more than 50,000, and the home video helped sell more albums. You can find Olivia Newton-John, David Bowie, Billy Joel, and even unknown bands in stores' video music section.
We are selling our tapes to people anywhere from 15 to 16 years old, all the way up to 55 and 65 years old, depending on whether it's a jazz program, a rock and roll program. Even in rock and roll, we're hitting people who don't even own video cassette recorders.
Industry analyst Mark Riley thinks that in 5 years, music videos will account for 20 to 25% of the recorded music industry.
We think the total market for home video will grow to about $5 billion in 5 years. And of that $5 billion in 1988, we think $1.25 billion perhaps will be music videos. So it will become a very significant segment, in our opinion.
These projections are based on the belief that the price of home videos will eventually be competitive with albums, and that many more people will own video players, which will also be stereo.
They want music video that they can play at home, when they want to see it, as they want to see it, as loud as they want to hear it.
What makes you think people will watch that same 3 minutes over and over and over again?
People used to say that about records. You know, how can kids listen to records 20 times? They answered it by listening to them 30 times and buying them in millions. And that's exactly what will happen in our business.
Everybody wants to.
In our celebrity file today, Jack Lemmon will receive the keys to the city, and director Billy Wilder will also be honored next month in San Diego at a dinner dance at the Hotel del Coronado. It's all part of a celebration for the 25th anniversary of the classic film comedy Some Like It Hot, much of which was shot at the hotel. Sugar, which is a musical version of Some Like It Hot, will be opening in Atlantic City next month, and Joe Willie Namath will put on a wig and high heels to play the role created by Tony Curtis in the film. And the stars turned out at New York's Radio City Music Hall to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Sloan Kettering Cancer Research Center, and the flashbulbs were popping. Frank Sinatra produced the tribute, which attracted 6,000 guests, including Diana Ross, Luciano Pavarotti, Montserrat Cabal, and Buddy Rich.
Her role in Testament earned Jane Alexander her 4th Oscar nomination. But what does she think about her chances of winning? Barbara Hauer has the story.
Jane Alexander has the distinction of being called the actor's actor.
I was so ignorant as a girl, worried about it, so full of fantasy. I thought some man would come along and sweep me off my feet. And your father, he wasn't at all what I was looking for.
In more than 20 years of performing on stage, screen, and television, Alexander has earned many awards, including a Tony and an Emmy, and 3 other Oscar nominations prior to this one for her role in Testament.
I thought I had a 50-50 chance, and so I was very pleased when I got it, because I thought it was going to come right down to the wire, which I'm sure it did.
What does it mean to you other than the fact that it is a large industry applause for your work? What other significance does winning a nomination have?
Well, for me specifically with the film Testament, it was meant for me to be the re-release of Testament, or the release of Testament in parts of the country that haven't seen it, because the film has not been seen by very many people. As of today, it's still not been re-released in New York, and it has not been seen by vast numbers of people across the country. I was hoping that with my nomination, it would get more exposure.
It seems to be the consensus that Shirley MacLaine will win for Terms of Endearment. How do you feel about your nomination, given that presumption?
Oh, see, I really feel terrific about a nomination, first of all, because I do feel that everybody who's nominated in all the categories is talented. I mean, that's just the bottom line right there. I thought Terms of Endearment was a terrific picture. I think Shirley's performance is wonderful, and I also think she will probably win the Academy Award this year, and I think that's just fine.
The public's perception of an Academy Award nomination is that you're able to write your own ticket. The sky's the limit.
No, it just doesn't work that way. I really have to set the record straight there. There are too many people in the industry who have won the Academy Award. Louise Fletcher comes to mind. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to propel you into a free ride from then on. In fact, there is a saying in the business that you can coast on an award for 3 years, and that's it. Then you're right back where you were before.
Are you going to prepare an acceptance speech?
Well, I think that I always will, yes.
Here comes big excitement.
Calm down.
High adventure.
I got it!
Unbridled emotion and passionate romance.
Yes! Yes!
Here comes a Big Apple blitz with a solid month of That's Hollywood. All through March, enjoy Tinseltown's biggest movies and brightest stars leading to the Academy Awards.
Thank you.
Weekdays at 4:30, sign on with 7 for That's Hollywood. Then, beginning April 2nd, turn on to New York Style.
Wow, 2 pairs of shoes. You must have struck it rich.
2 pairs of leather shoes for the price of 1. Only $39.90.
Where?
Endicott Johnson and Father and Son.
Hey, these really are genuine leather shoes.
You should see the selection, and the soles even have a lifetime guarantee.
What did you say they cost?
That's the best part. Both pairs were only $39.90. I saved over $30.
You really did strike it rich.
Leather dress shoes, 2 pairs for only $39.90 at Endicott Johnson and Father and Son.
Scandinavian Gallery. It's simple, uncluttered. It's the way I'd like my life to be.
You know, it's a sofa that folds out into a guest room.
It's bold.
It's rosewood. It's never going to fit in the apartment.
We'll move.
It's soft.
It's elegant.
It's wonderful. I love it. It's beautiful. It looks very expensive.
It's not.
It's Scandinavian Gallery. Only the look is expensive.
I think I'm getting ready to spend some money.
I've got 1 daughter in college and 1 getting married. And the last thing I need right now is to buy a new car. So every now and then I take the old Datsun down to Midas. Over the years, I've been to Midas for struts, brakes, a muffler, and I've always gotten a good deal. Oh, I'll treat myself to a new car one day. But right now, I've got other things I'd rather spend my money on.
Trust the Midas touch.
Jerry Lewis is back on the promotion trail for his latest film, Slapstick of Another Kind. He found the time to take some shots at those he feels have unjustly attacked him. We asked Lewis why the critics, particularly those in this country, seem to love to hate him. And in classic Lewis form, he answered the question with some questions of his own.
What are critics? Who are you talking about? We have critics here? You got critics in Europe. The critics in this country wrote marvelous stuff about King of Comedy. They thought I was terrific. But if I called them morons before the King of Comedy, what do I call them now? Same morons.
For a comedian, Jerry Lewis spends a great deal of time sounding bitter. And there's no truce in sight in his 35-year battle with the critics. But in Europe, especially in France, Lewis is truly the king of comedy. The French shower him with their highest cultural tributes, the title Commander of Arts and Letters, and the country's highest award, the Legion of Honor.
It's very difficult to deal with, because what you want to do is scuff your feet and shade your eyes from everybody. It's almost an embarrassment, because it borders on such a sensitive area. The Legion of Honor there isn't anything after that for an individual man. And from another country, from another government. It's a stunning, staggering experience.
But the films the French call genius have never even been considered for this country's highest award, the Oscar. And it doesn't roll off Lewis easily.
They waited almost until Charlie Chaplin was dead to recognize him. They waited till almost Stan Laurel was dead to recognize him. I defend and protect the field of comedy. Do you know that the Academy of Arts and Sciences do not have a category for comedy? The hurt is for the field of comedy. It's not for me, it's for my field.
But he continues the fight. His latest release is the film adaptation of Kurt Vonnegut's best-selling novel, Slapstick. Through his struggle to gain acceptance for Jerry Lewis, the actor-director, he has learned something about Jerry Lewis, the man.
Well, you can't take yourself too seriously, which I do on occasion. I'm very guilty of that, and that's when I get in trouble. But if you look at the world through children's eyes, you won't get in trouble. That's why whenever anyone asks me how old I am, I said chronologically I'll be 58. But I'm 9. I live 9, I think 9. I have a new heart. I have a new wife. I have a new life. I feel marvelous. I'm handsome, I'm tall, I'm Jewish.
And very funny.
I hope to God.
And what's next for Lewis? Well, he's now writing and plans to star in a sequel to one of his old hits. You'll recognize it, The Nutty Professor 2.
Here's our E.T. Digest for Monday, March 19th. Mr. Roberts airs live tonight on NBC. Among the stars, Robert Hayes, Mary Lou Henner, and Charles Durning. Cagney and Lacey make their comeback tonight.
April showers. May